Coming up right now on SUTV News, a Pennsylvania House representative is proposing a law to ease your student loan burden.
And we have the latest, hopefully the last, construction update.
It's all right now.
And thanks for joining us on SUTV News. I'm Joe Rodriguez.
And I'm Lucy Davis. A local business is cleaning up after a 3-alarm fire last week. McCoon Lumber Company in downtown Shippensburg caught fire on Friday. According to West End Fire Company, firefighters tried to contain the flames as they spread to surrounding buildings. West End also reported a large rekindling early Sunday morning. And students don't need to expect their raincoats in class, but a few microbiology students this week, it would have been a good idea. A water pipe in the heating and cooling system burst in the middle of a microbiology classroom in the Franklin Science Center on Tuesday morning. A few students got wet, but classroom equipment stayed dry. The maintenance crew has corrected the problem.
Students are writing their names into newly poured concrete, and it's costing the university. David H. Martin Excavating from Chambersburg reported vandalism to the university police on April 3rd. The company found names written into newly poured sections of concrete sidewalk near Kreiner Hall. On April 9th, the company reported another incident of vandalism in the same spot with a price tag of another $1,000. Both incidents are still under investigation. The total cost of damage is around $1,600. If you look around campus, it looks like the semester is not the only thing wrapping up. Campus construction might be wrapping up too. Nick Holub has the update.
Students have grown accustomed to hearing the sound while walking across campus. Installing the new heating and cooling system has been a loud and long process, but it is almost done. Crews are finishing up the final 15% of the project. A few more pipes have to be sealed and campus has to be put back together. Finishing off with new concrete and asphalt means safety is still a major concern.
Just remember to be safe in the construction areas. We still have construction vehicles backing up and things like that. Just be aware of what's going on around you. We just don't want anybody to get hurt.
The cooling plant started up this week, and while it isn't working at full capacity yet, it is providing air conditioning to most of campus. New construction started this week too, with the start of Noggle Hall's demolition. Mowry and McLean Hall will be getting small bathroom renovations and electrical updates. For SUTV News, I'm Nick Holub.
Construction managers say that by the fall, the fences will be gone and that you won't be even able to see that the campus was ripped up. Coming up on SUTV News, we take a look at the ship senior who is doing a little research on what's behind her morning coffee.
Yes, and catch up on the latest world news, including the details on the gyrocopter that landed on the White House lawn yesterday. Stay with us. Waking up in the morning can be hard without that caffeine kick from a cup of joe, but one ship senior wants people to wake up to fair trade in the coffee business. Ian Fitzgerald has the story.
Grabbing a cup of coffee in the morning is just one way to accelerate the waking process. But for Julie Saints, a geoenvironmental studies and history double major, it's about fair trade, a passion she discovered early in life.
When I was little, I was really passionate about being a fashion designer, and I was curious about how my clothes were made. And when I found out about sweatshops, I was really frustrated.
When she came to college, she poured that passion into a different industry.
I picked going to South America to research coffee because it's a very popular fair trade item.
To Julie, understanding what goes into a cup of coffee is just as important as getting your daily dose.
So I hope that the audience learn to question fair trade and to want to fix it. I might have been a little more depressing than I went into about it, but I really wanted the audience to question fair trade and marketing that they do, and that it's not exactly what it portrays.
Julie hopes her presentation at SHIP could someday turn into a publication that would open the people's eyes the way a morning cup does. Ian Fitzgerald, SUTV News.
Both Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts on campus use only fair trade coffee. The Career Center helps graduating seniors get out into the job market. Beginning in May, the center will offer a new tool to students, compliments of a Shippensburg class. Amanda Trevel has the story.
Students in the Advanced Technical Writing course are creating a website for the Career Center to teach people how to build an e-portfolio.
E-portfolio is essentially, stands for electronic portfolio, and it's a resource that students can use to display all of their work, all of their writing samples, art samples, their resume, all of those things that a potential employer might be looking for.
The students found only 10% of SHIP students have an e-portfolio.
It was just alarming to us because of how important e-portfolios are, just how few people knew about it, how few people had it. We really wanted to kind of get the word out there about how important it is. If you were especially a visual designer, an e-portfolio would be really, really useful for you because it's a way, to say, hey, I can do this, let me show you. Instead of just saying, I hope you believe me, and then hire me.
The website will be up and running in early May. For SUTV News, I'm Amanda Trevel.
To access this new tool, go to www.ship.edu/career.
A Shippensburg professor is doing his part to stop harassment in the workplace. SU Management Professor Jerry Carbo was named to the National Workplace Harassment Task Force. Carbo is only one of 16 people appointed by the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. The task force will aim to address and prevent workplace harassment. When he isn't in the classroom, you can find him in the courtroom fighting for the rights of targeted employees. Carbo feels honored for the recognition and looks forward to getting started.
Yeah, I mean, it was a huge honor. I was in a little bit of shock, to be honest with you, for a while. But I've worked in this area for 20 years at this point, and so after I got through with the initial shock, the idea was to then move to what can I bring to this committee and how will I add value to this task force.
The task force will meet for the first time in June. A possible tuition increase has SHIP students buzzing, but Representative Mike O'Brien is trying to ease student loan debt. Andrew Robinson has more.
A new bill is on the House floor in Harrisburg aimed to help people with student loans. One representative is looking out for the future of graduating students. I traveled to Harrisburg to sit down with Representative Mike O'Brien. In Harrisburg that may help students statewide enrolled in higher education. Mike O'Brien is a representative for the 175th District in Pennsylvania and is introducing some legislation that may help students cut down on their college debt after they graduate.
I have two kids that are 28 and 32, and as I talk with their friends, you keep hearing the reoccurring theme about how they're drowning in debt. So we need to take some steps to help mitigate this debt.
One of the steps Representative O'Brien is referring to is House Bill number 607 that he brought to the table and about 20 House members co-sponsor. If passed, the bill will allow students to claim a $2,500 tax credit per year for interest paid on an individual's student loans.
And certainly the easiest out of the blocks is to take Pennsylvania state income tax and allow that to be deducted from the loan. So it's not a big chunk, but it's a step along the way. It gives folks just a little breathing room.
The bill would provide the tax credit to individuals making up to $75,000 and couples making up to $155,000.
Pennsylvania has a large system of state education, the PASHE system. Whereas it's still a bargain, it tends to be more expensive than state universities in other states.
On average, students in Pennsylvania pile up $18,000 to $24,000 of student debt per year, putting them at number 3 in the country for the highest student debt, averaging just more than $31,500 at graduation. Student loans trail mortgages for the second largest form of consumer debt nationwide.
Hopefully, that gets the conversation going. That allows us to come up with new and different sources of help with this.
With student debt at an all-time high, Representative O'Brien said even his own children will not have the opportunity to invest in life's big purchases as he did growing up.
My kids have no expectation of ever owning a house. It's unfair to this generation.
If approved, the proposed bill will go into effect in 60 days. To show your support for the bill, call your local legislators. We've put a link to find your local legislators on SUTVnews.com, as well as an extended interview with the representative you'll only see online. The Secret Service and Capitol Police scrambled yesterday to the U.S. Capitol as a man flew a gyrocopter into restricted airspace. The Tampa Bay Times in Florida knew about the flight and interviewed the pilot, Doug Hughes. Secret Service contacted Hughes, and according to the newspaper, they've spoken with him 2 times since 2013. The Secret Service denies any communication. Hughes is a postal worker and was delivering letters to each member of Congress on the corruption of campaign finances in government. The gyrocopter is believed to have taken off in Gettysburg, and the Secret Service is investigating. In Ramadi, Iraq, ISIS militants are closing in on the city, and security forces may not be able to hold out much longer. Hundreds of families trying to get out of the city jammed the roads as ISIS militants seize control. U.S. military trainers are back and training the Iraqis to fight ISIS. The White House says it's willing to give Congress a say on any potential nuclear deal with Iran. A U.S. Senate committee approved a bill Tuesday that gives Congress up to 52 days to review any deal. President Obama would not be allowed to waive any congressional sanctions against Iran during that time. In addition, the bill requires the White House to certify to Congress every 90 days that Iran is complying with the deal. And finally, tonight, there are 571 days remaining until voters head to the polls in 2016 to vote for the next U.S. President of the United States. And presidential hopefuls are already starting their campaigns. Republicans Ted Cruz, Rand Paul, and Marco Rubio announced their candidacy. Rand Paul writes on his website, "I am running for president to return our country to the principles of liberty and limited government." On Tuesday, Democratic candidate Hillary Clinton held a roundtable discussion at a community college, saying she wants to fight for Americans.
And I'm running for president because I think that Americans and their families need a champion. And I want to be that champion. I want to stand up and fight for people so that they can not just get by, but they can get ahead and they can stay ahead.
Clinton is expecting to raise $2.5 billion for her campaign to be the first female president. That is all of your world news tonight. Back to you.
Coming up on SUTV News, we take a look at the new Star Wars movie trailer that has just been released today.
Yes, and may the force be with our weather and our weekend weather forecast. It's coming up next. Stay with us. Well, Joe, I am happy to say I have finally put away my jeans, my sweaters, all my long pants.
You know, I would do the same thing, but I heard that it's going to rain. I hope it doesn't put a damper on, the weekend, but, we have to find out.
Jake?
It seems spring has finally sprung here in Shippensburg. We haven't had any highs below 60 degrees all week, and I'm happy to say it looks like it should stay that way for this week. Today, the highs hit 70 degrees with partly cloudy skies, but watch out for some showers later this evening. Tomorrow has a high of 73, but those April showers may be present throughout the day. Taking a look at the 5-day, Saturday, expect a balmy 77 degrees with mostly sunny skies. Sunday will cool off a bit with mostly cloudy skies and a high of 64. Monday will be another rainy day with a possibility for thunderstorms. The high will be 68. Finally, Tuesday, partly cloudy skies with a high of 66. That's it for this week's weather. I hope you enjoy the weekend, and I'll see you back here next Thursday.
From Nickelodeon's airwaves to Primetime Saturday Night Live, it's Kenan Thompson. Tonight, he's making an appearance at SHIP to perform stand-up. Take a trip back into time to relive your childhood memories of Good Burger and Kenan and Kel. The doors of the Cub NPR open at 8, and Kenan will begin at 9:30. Tickets are available at the Cub Info Desk. Dan Hennig will fill the red zone with the music with the sounds of music tomorrow night. The singer-songwriter made his musical debut back in 2012 when his cover of Little John's Get Low went viral. Even though his music career started with a cover, Hennig says he has been writing and performing his own songs for years. Audience members can expect to hear pop, R&B, rock, and acoustic songs starting tomorrow night at 10 in the Cubs Red Zone. Head back to your childhood again this weekend. The Cub is hosting a do-it-yourself event on Saturday at 10 p.m. in McFeely's. Using only a mason jar, glow sticks, and glitter, you can make your own mason jar with fireflies. Star Wars fans, your fix is here. The second trailer for the new movie was released today. Lucasfilm released a second trailer for the upcoming blockbuster Star Wars, The Force Awakens. The film will hit theaters this Christmas, and Harrison Ford will be reprising his role as Han Solo. Well, that's it for entertainment. See you next week.
Still to come, if you missed the tennis match on Tuesday, stay tuned for the highlights.
Yes, and the track team was recognized for outstanding performances this week. We'll reveal which two players sit atop PSAC standings after the break. Sports is next.
Welcome back to SUTV. While we were close to the end of the spring sports season, a fall sports team is just getting underway. This past Saturday, the Red Raiders returned to the gridiron for the annual Red and White game. The game gives players the chance to show off what they've worked on in the offseason, especially for the younger players.
Today, and it's first time out really, in a game atmosphere, so they had a little bit of jitters, but, things are going well, and they're having a lot of fun.
While it's fun for the players to suit up again, alumni get a chance to relax for a change and watch a little football. And we get to catch up with them.
Since I left, I went to rookie camp with the Detroit Lions and came back, and now I'm actually playing for the Philadelphia Soul, so just chasing my dreams.
The Red Raiders regular season kicks off on September 5th at Seth Grove Stadium. The Raiders kick off the regular season on September 5th at Seth Grove Stadium. The Student Athlete Advisory Committee held its annual Athletes Got Talent fundraiser on Monday. Each team had 2 minutes to show off their best dance moves and raise money for Make-A-Wish in the process. SAC raised almost $1,000 throughout the event and made $600 in the first half hour alone. This puts SAC past their initial goal of $2,500 and well on their way to the ultimate goal of $7,500 by the end of the year. Women's tennis met Millersville Tuesday in a pivotal PSAC matchup. Bernadette Koff has the highlights.
Cox teamed up for number 1 doubles, winning 2 games but dropping the match 8-2. Emil Lutman and Sarah Kramer won 3 games but fell 8-3 to Nicole Dackey and Kimberly Theophil. Ship forfeited number 3 doubles and number 6 singles with just 5 players. Ship dropped the afternoon to Millersville with a final team score of 0-9. For SUTV Sports, I'm Bernadette Koff.
Ship will head to East Stroudsburg for a 12:30 start on Saturday. Laquan Chapman was named PSAC Men's Outdoor Field Athlete of the Week. Chapman reached number 3 on the NCAA Division II performance list in long jump with a jump of almost 25 feet last Saturday. Chapman sits Division II's top 20 in triple jump and 48 feet 3 1/4 inches. On the running side of the sport, Kieran Sutton was named PSAC Men's Outdoor Track Athlete of the Week. Sutton completed his first 10K with a time of 30 minutes and 2.68 seconds. His time ranks 11th on the NCAA Division II performance list and the fastest Shippensburg 10K since 2011. Support Ship softball tomorrow at Domestic Violence Awareness Day. Ship will host Millersville, and the first pitch is at 2:30. The team is hosting a silent auction to raise money for Randy's House of Angels, an organization helping kids who are exposed to and/or victims of domestic violence. The game will be played in honor of the late Millersville student, Carly Hall. Fans are encouraged to wear purple. That's all we have for this week in SUTV Sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
Well, that's it for SUTV News. I'm Lucy Davis.
And I'm Joe Rodriguez. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at SUTV News and like us on Facebook.
And for more information on tonight's stories and extra news, visit our website, SUTVnews.com.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.